All right, guys, welcome to another edition of the Stay at Home Open Mic. My name is Richie Marufo, and I will be your host. And of course, we're coming to you via the Barbed Wire Open Mic series out of El Paso, Texas. Now, we've been doing these for quite some while now. On Mondays, it's been a lot of fun, and of course, it's quite the showcase. A nice way to give people a platform in these times where a lot of us are quarantined, staying at home, and just really trying to contain ourselves, be best during this pandemic. And of course, creating isn't canceled. A lot of us still have our voices, things we need to say. A lot of us are writing. There's so much going on in the world right now. And so it's important to have this available for us. And so this is live on YouTube. So if you guys are watching this live on YouTube, hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us. As always, it's important to have people who support the arts. And so I thank you. Let us know if you're listening. Say hi. Just drop your name or just say hi in the chat. We do have a live chat going on. Let us know where you're listening in from, and of course, support the artists, the poets, the writers, the musicians as they go on. Like, you know, tell us your favorite lines. What hit you? What made you feel something? Because that's always good. So of course, I encourage you to participate. If you're not part of our live chat and you're just watching this in the future, enjoy. You can still leave a comment, and I'll do my best to try and get everyone to share their social media or their pages, their publications, ways in which you can support them. All right, we do have a great list today. It's really full. I'm counting about up to like 19 or 20 people at this point. I'm gonna try and get everyone on. I know it's kind of late in the East Coast because one of the silver linings, I mentioned we're based out of El Paso, but we do have an opportunity to connect with people all over the country and in some cases the world. And so today we're gonna kick off with someone joining us from New Jersey City. Jersey City, New Jersey. We have Naomi Hazelwood in the house. Naomi, how are you? uh, we want to first of all welcome you today, and you're gonna sing a song for us today, right? Some Billie Holiday. So let's go ahead and welcome you to the stage, Naomi. It's good to have you. Uh, let's see. Let's get you unmuted here. There you are.
Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah, go for it. It's all you, Naomi. Oh. Okay, I think Naomi, I think it's got muted. No, it's the mute is on. It's possible that your voice was so powerful that it cut through the noise suppression software, because we can hear you now. But do you have an option on your computer to turn on your original sound?
I think it's fine. I
Okay.
mean,
But if you're doing it from the computer and the phone, you gotta mute one of these because it's gonna pick up.
Okay. Yeah, because it was like canceling out. So when you started singing, we didn't really hear it. That's cool. These are kind of like a tutorial too sometimes. So you're joining us from New Jersey. That's awesome. All right. Let's try that. Try that again. Okay. No. Oh, no, we can't hear you.
Okay, try again.
can you hear me now?
Now we can hear you. We can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that sky shall gain, then that not shall lose, but the Bible says, and it still is news. My mom may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Yes, the strong get more, while the weak ones fade. Empty pockets don't ever make Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Money, you've got lots of friends. They're crowding round your door. When you're gone and spending ends, they don't come no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You may help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own, that's got his own. Money, you've got lots of friends. They're crowding round your door. When you're gone and spending ends, they don't come no more. Rich relations give crust of bread and such. You may help yourself, but don't take too much. Mama may have, Papa may have, but God bless the child that's got his own. But God bless the child that's got his own. But God bless the child that's got his own. That's got his own.
Yeah. Yo, you came through. That's what's up. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That's the best way to start a show. We did last week with some music, some dope, some like beat. I mean, first of all, Billie Holiday is like one of the greats, you know. So before we take off, is there anything that you'd like to promote, like your social media, your music? How can we support you and find your stuff?
Oh, yes, you can follow me on Hazel and Naomi. That's my Instagram account. And that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the only, like, I feel like that's the resource that I can if people want to contact me or DM me. Yeah.
Cool. Naomi Hazelwood. Welcome, Barbed Wire. And if you want to see that again, you can go and find our YouTube Barbed Wire Open Mic series. Subscribe, follow it. We have past episodes, and this is every Monday. So thanks for starting it off strong. Glad to have you on. All right, we're gonna
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we're gonna go ahead and continue, guys. Yeah, I get lots of love in the chat as well for that. So you can also type in the chat if you want your social media so people can follow. We're gonna go ahead and bring up another first timer, but was here last week listening in, and has a really special poem to share. We have Dr. A in the house. Dr. A, welcome. How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Cool. Welcome. So tell us about the piece you're going to read today. It has like a special element to it, right?
Yes, this is a poem that my youngest son wrote to me for Father's Day. And so I wanted to share it with everyone.
Cool.
Okay. And it's called Father's Footsteps. Dear Father, I'm glad you and my mom made me, because without you, I wouldn't know what I would be. When I see how much you love this family, it amazes me. You taught me so many things about life, like what's wrong and what's right. I'm glad you pushed me harder. I'm glad you wanted me to be smarter. You worked so hard to get me nice things. One day I'll grow up and do the same thing. Thanks for supporting me through all the bad situations I've been in. And all your advice and teachings really gave me tough skin. I'm happy to say that you guided me with your footsteps. Because some dads are cowards and leave their son to have less. To have a man to lead me, I feel blessed. Although our relationship isn't always perfect, but to have your teachings, care, fun, and most importantly, love, you are truly worth it. Happy Father's Day. I'm thankful for everything that you've done for me and this family. Some fathers leave or act like they don't care for their son. Some kids do dumb things and get in trouble, but do the same thing because there isn't a father to tell them that what they did was wrong. It's sad to see that they don't have a father who's willing to step up in life to care and teach their sons. So it's really a true blessing to have a great father figure in my life. Although we might get upset at each other, I remember that you love me because of all the sacrifices you have made for me. I hope I grow up to be as great as a man or father as you. This grammar might not be great or whatever, but just know these are my true thoughts and emotions. And that's Father's Footsteps by my youngest son. And I wanted to share it with you all. And through this, I also, in case he's watching, I want to let him know that I'm very proud of him. Thank you.
Hey, that's very special. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. A. And yeah, from the heart. That's beautiful. And you've been a role model. That's also a really great thing to treasure. So
Thanks for this opportunity, Richie. I appreciate it.
absolutely. Is there anything you'd like to promote or share with us today?
Well, I'm hoping another reason why I wanted to, read my son's poem is because I was hoping that he would read his own poetry. So when he was not willing to do that, I wanted to go ahead and give it a shot. Like I said, I'm a first timer. So that maybe that would encourage him to do it because this is something that he did for Father's Day, but he's been writing actually since this pandemic, and so I'm trying to encourage him to keep producing and hopefully read and publish.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Yeah, to have that support is everything. So I really dig that, and I hope we can all have that love reverberate all throughout. You know what I'm saying. So thank you. I'm glad you made it today. Hopefully, maybe not the last time. Come share some of your work, and if he ever wants to, we can find a way to make that happen. All right. Yes.
Thank you.
Cool. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. A. And he was in the chat last week, so it's always cool when people can make it from the stream here to the actual Zoom meeting. And if you guys ever want to be part of our virtual audience, because I know we are streaming it on YouTube, but if you guys ever just want to come into the Zoom chat and like listen and kind of get a glimpse of all the performers that are here in the room, you can watch it in grid mode or gallery view and kind of see everyone there. It's really cool stuff. All right. So again, for sake of time, we do have a lot of people signed up. I'm just kind of trying and do rapid fire today and trying not to talk too much because I can do that. So next up we have last week was their first time and absolutely killed it. I really liked their own work. And of course also shared a translation, which was new to this show. So I'm happy that you're returning, and I want to hear more about your book that I saw on your Instagram. But we have Lee MS in the house. Welcome, Lee. Welcome back.
Hi, thank you for the welcome. So yeah, last week was my first time sharing. So I'm hoping you guys like what I have today. I don't have a translation this time because I didn't have time to prepare, but I'm definitely doing one next week. So this one is actually from the book that you'll find on Amazon, and it's called Para los Locos. And for this one in here, it's specifically about mental health. My master's is on mental health, so I always tend to focus on that specific area. So this one is called Possessions or Posesiones or Possessed in English, and I have both the English and the Spanish version. The original one is in Spanish. Te encontraré nuevamente en la mitad de la noche. Veré tu sombra en mis paredes acechando mis desasosiegos. Te veré tal vez extendiéndote en el rabillo de mis ojos y descenderás sobre mí cuando el sol de la ventana me ciegue. Te encontraré nuevamente, tus múltiples garras en mi garganta, hurgando entre mis cuerdas bucales en búsqueda de un quejido, un alarido o el llanto. Te encontraré nuevamente, lo sabré cuando no encuentres palabras, cuando falten ganas de todo, cuando sentir sea solo pesadumbre o me cruce por la mente un eterno descanso. Y es que siempre vuelves, de puntitas, entre susurros, y me doy cuenta que entras sino hasta verme otra vez en cama, casi muerto, casi vivo, en un estado medio donde ganas sobran y ganas faltan. Soy producto de posesiones y cada vez que te encuentro asfixiante, doliente, incesante, mudo pieles y huesos y me convierto poco a poco en tus fantasmas. Sé que vendrás nuevamente porque hay veces que te extraño, porque hay días en los que das más de lo que quitas y porque ya has estado tanto tiempo debajo de esta carne que es difícil exorcizarte sin que te lleves parte de mí. Te encontraré nuevamente, de eso estoy seguro. And then the English version of it, and let me close my door before my dogs return and make a lot of noise over here. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say your dogs are just showing support. You know, they can't snap, so they're like bark, bark,
bark, bark. And then this one in English is Possessed, and it's a translation. I'll find you again in the middle of the night. I'll see your shadows on my walls, haunting my unease. I'll see you, perhaps, stretching from the corner of my eyes, and you'll descend over me when the sunlight entering through my window blinds me. I'll find you again with your claws around my throat, rummaging through my vocal cords in search for a moan, a howl, or a whimper. I'll find you again. I'll know it when I run out of words, when I run out of will to do anything, when feeling just causes grief, or when the thought of an eternal rest crosses my mind. And you always come back, tiptoeing towards me, between breaths, and I do not notice until I find myself trapped in my bed, almost dead, almost alive, in a middle stage where there's a will, but it is lacking. I am a product of possessions, and every time that I find you, suffocating, hurting, incessant, I shed skin and bones and turn little by little into ghosts of you. I know I will find you again because sometimes I miss you, because there's days where you give more than you take, and because I've spent so much time underneath the skin that it's so difficult to exercise you without you taking parts of me. I'll find you again, of that I'm sure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And really quick, one more time. So that's your book, right? Tell us the title again and how we can find it.
Yes, it's Para los Locos. I'll type it over here, and it's on Amazon. I'm actually getting a discount for July 23, I think, and it's gonna be free if you have a Kindle or if you have a phone and you just want to download it completely free. You don't need Amazon Prime. I honestly don't care if you get it like from somebody else. I just want readers. That's all I want. But yeah, it's Para los Locos.
Yeah, such a great title. Yeah, and yeah, I love the translation. Last time, you read one of your pieces in English and in Spanish, and that's really great. I wish we had more of that. Well, I might come to you because I'm still pretty weak on my Spanish part of it. But
yeah, definitely hit me up if you guys want any translation. I'm happy to collaborate.
There you go. And how can they hit you up? How can they find you?
So they can find me on Instagram at, I'm gonna write it. It's cadáveres_literarios. And that's my Insta.
Right on. And I'll share that on the Zoom chat as well. Thank you for joining us today. Always
Thank
great.
you.
And then look forward to what you bring next week. Yeah, thank you. Cool. All right. This is running around smoothly. We're going to try and get more people on. In fact, when we first started this, the very, very first one that we did, I didn't do a live stream. I was just testing out Zoom, and I think we've survived for the most part. We've been able to get by. But this next performer was here for our very first one, which wasn't live streamed, so it wasn't documented. But now I know she's been really busy and working a lot. I know that's the case for a lot of people, but it's always a treat when people do have a chance to make it on. And so we have Jimena in the house, and she's gonna share some poetry with us. Jimena, welcome. The stage is yours.
Hello, is the mic, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Perfect. I'm sorry, I had to make do a lot. I've been very busy, but during that time I've written some stuff and I have a really good, well, she's my past teacher now. She was my English teacher and she wanted to become what's it called? She wanted to become a professor at UTEB or just like a professor at a university in general. And she always just reviews my work, but we've both been really busy and I haven't been able to show her much, but I would be glad
Nice.
to share some stuff here. It's been a while. It's been a while. I
Okay.
haven't able to, like, take some
But
time.
by the way, your video's off. I don't know if you want to turn it on. I know sometimes people want to like turn off the vid when they're not performing. But it's up to you. If you just want to be the voice, it's all about the voice anyway. But
Here, let me turn on the light so I can at least be seen. Oh, I dropped my phone. Yeah, I was trying to make do a setup because it's my day off, so I was like, you know what? I'll be the mess in the group today.
and you joined us on your day off, and that means a lot actually. Okay.
Ready? So I just started this one with Unsatisfied.
I think you're getting covered by a blanket or something.
Oh man, there we go.
You're good. Jimena, everyone. Yeah.
Hello. This one, it's just titled Unsatisfied. I don't know if I meant for that to be the actual name of it because I usually start with one word and then I keep going. Okay. Unsatisfied. I am pruned for the way I wrinkle at the ends of my cheeks. The bare moment I see your ingenuous teeth meet together, clash together, hit waves, sparking up a division between your lips. One that would put Jesus' water tricks to shame. I am a fan of lemons for the way the corners of my eyes escape all at once. Right into the center of my face, huddling against my nose, my lashes meeting at once, sharing warmth. The moment you reach out and brush your fingers against my soiled skin, the dirt of many hurtled on every fold of my body. You pull away, your fingers mud-stained, every piece of clothing you wore covered in dust. I'm dirty, for the way I watched 50 Shades of Grey to know what sex was. Dirty for letting many trade their tongues with mine. Disgusting for solidifying that as love. You love dirty girls, and I love to be framed a fraud for being crude of my own sexuality. You picture me as flowers, so precious and soft, skin just like a rose's petal. But aren't flowers also frail? They go almost extinct during the winter fronts. They vanish into dust and break apart, torn by the wind, wilting your way. You say I'm as bright as the hues of spring, flourishing with the birds in the trees. You believe I should be treasured, quite irreplaceable. You swore I could be compressed tightly and turned into gold. That was a year ago. I sit still in the middle of my room, adjacent to the only light in my room. Me and the last inch of my candle's wick sit together in the middle of my room. Me and the last centimeter of my candle's wick sit together in the middle of my room. Me and the last millimeter of my candle's wick sit together in the middle of my room. We used to sit together too. And that's the first one. Thank you. It's been a while. I think that's the most recent one I've written. I think that was Monday. It says, well, like last Monday. But yeah, it's been a while. Here, let me see. Which other one do I have? Changes so rapid. I'm sorry. I should have probably prepared better for this. So I think I'm gonna read one that my friend Bruno likes, and I don't know how I feel about it. It's very just vulgar, I guess you could say. I usually like keep these to myself, but my friend liked it and he was like, you should totally read that one. Today I wrote a message. Today I reached out to the past and absolutely throat fucked it. Today my reflection became inaudible and blind. Today I became what the adult magazines say you should become. Today I told you my true feelings. I spilled my jar of sorrow all over your perfect pearl white button-up. I clashed history with philosophy and defied our very creation. I shaved your hair off and cut your head up to open to stuff my almost useless photographs of obscenities right into your brain. I force-fed you with the mosquitoes whispering in my ears at night before they ravaged for my blood in the same manner I yearned for your deaf ears to hear my mumbling. I ruptured your eardrums, and in return, you waved the sweetest goodbye. And at the same time, we both set sail, broke the mirrors behind us, tore every porno ever written, and swatted every mosquito in existence. just like that. You wrote a message back. And that's the second one. And then I have another one that I wrote that I think I like it, but I always have like things to say about everything. I mean, like I don't feel like anything is perfect. I always try to make it better. Let me see, where is it? I'm so sorry about that. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm sorry, this takes forever. Where is it? I'm sorry.
It's all good. We've been there before,
I'm
you know,
like,
especially yeah, especially if you have like just notes and just store it in other place. You just have to find it. That's cool. It's all good.
everywhere.
Yeah,
Here,
but that's a
let me just search one of the keywords and it'll pop. There we go. Okay. A year ago, I won a free ticket to a steamy paradise. Scratch that. A burning island, one that would put Fire Festival into shame. I prayed every night to a deaf-blind god. I cried out to my father's motionless ashes. I berated the sticks and stones that held up my thin 113-pound frame. I held my legs shut after betraying my mother's trust. I regretted, I loved, I learned. I wiped the tears off of my own eyes and shook hands with the devil. I woke up day after day checking if my teeth had magically gone white after one use of my magic white strips. My teeth, still stained yellow, taining my roots, drying my leaves, turned to dust, whom I called father. I held on to magic tricks and homeopathic treatments, rubbed Vicks all over my exposed femur, those that many men grace with their mud-stained fingers. I caught infections that reached into my brain, gripped into my last nerve, and swindled around my pain and my panic. I felt every stare when I abandoned the colony. I was squashed by the foot of the very same men who left Ron Mandarin by the sidewalk. I yearned to be understood, but no one knew sign language. I played with the shadow my fingers made as they were shot by the light of my own mother's eyes, the same light that chased my shadows down into the alley with no end. And no, I didn't find a ladder, trapdoor, or even a peek hole. I was handed the very same ticket to the very same promised land. Quivering, I took it, set it aflame, and woke up this morning. And that is it. Don't want to take up too much time.
no, that's perfect. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing. Yeah,
Thank
Snappy.
you.
Yeah, you guys can unmute to clap and share, by the way.
Yeah, that was like real good.
Thank you.
Awesome. So really quick before we move on to the next person, do you have a poetry page or anywhere where people can support your work? And I know you're working on some manuscripts and stuff.
Yes,
but,
I've been
yeah.
working on some stuff. I'm actually gonna run around my house because my computer's about to die. But I was working on a book for a while, and then I lost all motivation because I've been so busy doing a bunch of other things, and it's been hard to keep up with it. It's just like laying in the corner of like all my files, and I see it, and I want to touch it and do something, but then I'm like, no, I'll do that another day. Like, I'll do that another day, and then I just never do it. So I hope that maybe like sometime not far from today, I can go back. But if I do, I'll definitely be back here and I'll be talking about it.
Of course, yeah, you're always welcome, and yeah, you have a bright future. Like just even your reading, like you know, seems like you've been doing it for years. So it's good to have you. And if you know, yeah, thanks. Anything you'd like to promote or share?
Oh, I mean, my Instagram, I used to have a poetry page for it, but I kind of just like gave up on it because I use mostly just my regular Instagram. I don't really like to post my poetry a lot. It's more like my little cult, my little hidden secret that people know about it, but I just don't post about it because I'm like, it's kind of my thing that if you know me, you will know about it. But yeah, if they want to check out if any of you guys want to check out my Instagram, it's just going to be Jim the Pinto Bean. Yeah.
Very cool. Jim the Pinto Bean. Well, glad to have you. Next Monday you have off. Please.
Hopefully.
Please join us. Yeah. All right. Well, stick around as long as you can. We got a full list trying to get, like I said, people on. In fact, we're going to go ahead and switch it up, get back into some music. We also have a performer who hasn't been here in a little while. So it's good to have them back. We have a Jag in the house. Jag Raspopovich. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
All right.
Everybody's having a nice Monday night. It's been a minute. It's nice to be back, and I'm glad you've gotten this thing still going and like I don't know, man. Glad to be
It's
here.
awesome, man. Yeah, I love how ready you were. As soon as you popped on the screen, like, oh yeah, that's what's up.
Gotta get it, man.
So
Give it a count. So this is a new one. Yeah, let's just go ahead.
take it away.
Maggie Sue, who are you? Keeping this dragon alive. Maggie Sue, who are you? Child of 35. Maggie Sue, run away from everything you do. Maggie Sue, who are you? Keeping this dragon alive inside your child of 35. Outside your child who's ready to die. Maggie Sue, who are you? Keeping this dragon alive. Maggie Sue, who are you? 175. Maggie Joe, who are you? Dragon living inside. Dragon comes from the north, kill your children alive. Maggie Sue, who are you? Keeping this dragon inside. Ruthless and true to you. You have nowhere to hide. Maggie Sue, you love him so that he's made you blind. That he's made you blind. Maggie Sue, who are you? Son afraid of dying. Dragon, he lives with you, kills all that you know. You have nowhere left to go, nowhere left to run. Dragon, he's your friend, but he harms everyone. Maggie Sue, you cry to me, let no one know but you. The hand of God, he comes for those who believe him too. Dragon, you say, is your friend, is the truth and light. Dragon, you say is your friend, he is wise and bright. The people you say they evils of this world. People, you say, they are blind. The evils of this world. Death is not to be of fear, so easily confused. Death is something you revere, in that he lives with you. Maggie Sue, who are you? Child of 35. How can you be unafraid? Dragon that eats us alive. How can you be so brave? Face of what is death. How can you live with death? Give it such respect. Oh, Maggie, you say to me that I am wrong for that. Death is part of everything. You know where it's at. Nothing to be afraid. Nowhere left to hide. Nothing left to be afraid of. Nowhere left to run. Maggie, oh Maggie, give me all of your strength. Maggie, Maggie, give me all your strength. Let me be unafraid in the face of death. Let me be unafraid in the face of death. Thank you.
Yeah, dude, that was dope. So that's new lyrics, huh? New
Yeah.
song.
Yeah. Just wrote it
Yes.
2 days ago, so keep on it. Thanks,
I
man.
saw that. I saw you post them on your Instagram page, man. It's
Yeah,
a good little saga you wrote there.
yeah. Just
And
the feeling's right, man. Everybody's in this kind of headspace, and I don't know, man. What needs to be said finds a voice.
right on. I really love that, man. I'm gonna quote that. All right, I'm gonna quote you on that on the next BWOMS page, and just like a quote from you. All right, I'll tag you. I'll tag you.
Fair enough, dude. Thank you so much.
So, do you have anything to promote? Anything that you'd like for us to, how we can support you, follow you, or any words of wisdom
yeah.
for us today?
Right now, man, if you have family, if you have somebody that you love, give them time. If you have people that you hate, ask yourself why, man. It seems like we're at a time where people are dying and people are afraid. And right now, more than anything, man, just like face what scares you and embrace what you have. You can find me on Instagram here. It's not a big deal. I make art sometimes. I make music sometimes. But right now, I'm mostly just like looking to connect with people and I don't know, just remind ourselves that like The darkest things aren't always the most frightening things. Sometimes it's how we respond to them.
I dig that. I gotta meditate on that one. Look, I'm gonna sleep on that one tonight for sure. Thanks for sharing that. And I think your performances are special. And Don is writing some nice things on the chat here that I totally agree with. I've seen you get down, when you not just at, I know you've joined us at Fahrenheit, but also at El Velvet Elvis when you were doing that on Wednesdays. You would get down on some really cool like sonic kind of like, I like the word that Donna, or the phrase Donna uses, which is a vortex of energy, and it's a meditation. It's going inward to go outward.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate the message, man.
Thanks to you and thanks to Donna. Hope everybody has a nice evening. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Jag. Take it easy, man. Be good. I'll see you soon. All right. Talk to you soon.
Appreciate you.
All right, cool. So we got more performers going on tonight. Like I said, it's kind of a full list. We also have a lot of people who didn't make it. It's fine. They might. Who knows? It's live. It's the internet. It's online. So stay at home open mic, guys. Brought to you by the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series, a Border Senses event. If you don't know about Border Senses, go look it up. Very cool nonprofit. Have several projects dedicated to supporting the arts and literacy here in the border. We're gonna go ahead and continue with some really cool art. We have Christine Ponce Diaz. She's been kind of changing it around from prose to music, back to music. So she has her piano today. She's gonna play some music for us. Let's go ahead and welcome to the stage, Christine.
Hey everyone, thank you. Thank you, Richie. I just wanted to share a piece that has been with me for a couple of years, several years. So kind of when I first started playing piano, and it's just a piece that I've always loved, and I wanted to learn it again and share it with you all. So I feel like as I've evolved in my music, oh, you can't hear me. Okay, hold on. Let me try something with the audio. Hold on a second. Okay, is the sound better? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Okay, sorry, still kind of figuring everything out too. So yeah, this piece has just been with me. It's called Barcarolle from the Tales of Hoffmann, which is an operetta written by a German composer, Jörg Offenbach, and he was born in Germany, but he later on became he moved to France, and he just lived and worked in France for the rest of his life. But so this operetta is really interesting because it takes place in a few different countries, but it's kind of the snapshot that we're going to see in the music right now is when he falls in love with this lady who's on a gondola in Venice, and it's super romantic and beautiful, and Offenbach is a romantic composer. He writes about this character Hoffmann, who is looking for love literally in all the wrong places and all the wrong ways, and it's a little comical, but it's kind of, in the end, it doesn't really work out for him, and it's a little sad at the end. But the snapshot that we're gonna hear today, it's really positive, and it's at the peak of his interest in this woman. And so what he doesn't know is that she is on the boat with her fiance. And so he's kind of like, hey there, Delilah, about his approach. He's like falling for her, and he, the whole time, her fiance is in the boat with her. And so I guess it's dark and he can't see, but later on in the opera, they end up having a duel, a sword fight, and I guess on their boats in the river, and he ends up winning. But this lady doesn't end up falling for him. She ends up eloping with someone else. But this melody, there's like a main melody that you're gonna keep hearing throughout, and that's her singing. So she's singing "Oh Beautiful Night," and she's just kind of explaining how she feels being in love with the person who's in the boat, and at the same time this person is feeling the same thing, listening to her song, falling in love with her while she's in the boat with someone else. So Here is sorry for what Barcarolle from Tales of Hoffman. Let me know. I'll play the first chord. Let me know if you all can hear it.
It's a little. It's getting muted.
It's getting muted. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's try this.
Yeah, that should work.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go. I think.
Okay. So, okay, here it goes.
Yeah.
Is Barcarolle. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I love that. Thanks for the explanation too, and your yeah, it sounded really great. So by the way, for everyone listening, earlier we kind of met up to try and figure out how to make the best sound, because if you know I mentioned it before, but if you're not aware, Zoom is really kind of made for just teleconferencing, and so really just voice. And so the way the software works is if you play an instrument, it like does crazy things. I don't know what that is. It does crazy things. It strangles certain frequencies. And so we were kind of playing around with the whole microphone thing earlier. It sounds like it sounded good. When you turned to the original sound, you could hear the full quality of the piano. I think it was a little low for people listening to the speaker. It sounded good through headphones. I don't know if that was just me though, but either way, it was beautiful, and I know a lot of people really enjoyed that. I will reiterate what people were saying. It was a treat. Oftentimes I'll encourage people to when they hear music like that, where does it take you? How does it inspire you? Try and write a little. Maybe we can try that next time. If you want to try like some piano and we could just do like a writing exercise, that'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That'd be
fun. Yeah, I'm game.
Yeah, we used to do that back in the day. Sometimes at BWOMS. Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Anyway, I know you also teach music lessons. Do you want to promote that? How can people get a hold of you and support your art?
Thank you. Yes, I teach piano and voice lessons at Guitar Center, and we're doing online lessons right now, just to keep everybody safe. And it's been really productive. I've been doing this online for some time now, and it's going really well. So I would just encourage anybody who has some extra time and extra curiosity to learn piano or voice or both. I'm there, and you can just give them a call and sign yourself up for lessons. And I'd love to work with new students. Um, Also, as far as connecting and networking and staying in contact with people, I usually am on Facebook, so it's probably the best way to connect with me there is through Facebook. And I do have a YouTube channel where I'll periodically post some songs that I've covered or just kind of working on and different fun projects.
Yeah, right on. Do we, so if we go to Guitar Center, can we request you? Do we have like are there other teachers? Can we be like, no, I want Christine?
Thank you. Yes. Yes, you can request me because there are a few piano teachers as well. So, Ryan Morales and also Amy. Oh, her last name escapes me right now, but her name is Amy. So she's also piano and voice, and Ryan teaches keys. So
Oh,
they're
right
all
on.
really amazing instructors, and so you guys have your pick. Yeah.
That's good to have, right? It's good to have choice. Well, thanks for joining us, and hopefully you can join us again next time.
Thank you. Thanks. Yes. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Any I don't know. I'm like now I'm just like instead of asking for a social media, I'm like, now give us your words of wisdom. I don't know, but that piano definitely inspired us. So
Well, I
uh,
can take you through, if I have a few minutes, I can take you through what goes through my mind while I'm playing the songs. Um,
I think that would be a cool addendum to your performance, and then we'll continue on with the list.
okay, okay, so I have like a movie playing in my head because I've practiced this one for many years. It's kind of like muscle memory now. So I'm not so much thinking about the counts and the notes, like not so much, but I'm able to think about um I'm able to think about, oh, hold on, let me fix the audio again. I think, is that better? The audio?
Yeah, it's definitely louder.
Okay.
So
Okay,
yeah.
cool. I'm able to think about like, yeah, just like a movie playing. So I think when this part happened in the beginning, um, let me turn on the keyboard and I'll show you. I think they're just kind of starting. They've already boarded, but I feel like they're just barely getting started on their traverse in the water. And then once she starts singing, and I feel like they've reached their stability in where they're going in the boat, and she feels comfortable enough to, I imagine her like standing up and she's just like singing like Belle Nuit, and and I just imagine her carrying on that way. But there's this part where the music shifts a couple parts, and it kind of gets a little bit more intense on this part. So I feel like maybe they hit some unexpected waves or maybe some unexpected little currents that are kind of like maybe foreshadowing the trouble up ahead, or maybe just, yeah, I kind of see it as like a foreshadowing of what might be up ahead. Um, and then the next part, it does shift significantly in the music, and I feel like that might just be a conversation that she may be having with her fiance who's in the boat with her, and maybe they're discussing something, but it's a general peaceful nice feeling, so I don't feel like it's a bad conversation. I feel like it's a nice conversation, but I feel like he kind of enters at that point and he starts bringing in different ideas to her song, and I feel like that's why the music in my opinion. I feel like that's why it changes. And then this part is my absolute favorite. It's really fun to play, but it's like these rolling scales, arpeggiated scales. So that part is a key shift also in the music. And I think that is kind of, it's peaceful sounding, but there's a storm up ahead. And you can hear it when the music kind of goes into this. When it goes into that, it sounds like, oh, there's trouble up ahead. And so I feel like it's just preparing you for that point. So when you get there, it's like, whoa, what's happening here? And I imagine that that's where the guy starts approaching on his boat with a sword, like, I'm gonna rescue you, Delilah. Like, like I don't know. I just that's everything pretty much that's going through my head. And at the time, I'm seeing these characters as I'm playing, and I'm imagining it all happening on a boat because the rhythm is pretty steady. And those like the waves, the way that the boat kind of would sway to me. That's what it seems like. And yeah, at the end, it has a resolution in the song, and it goes to a little bit more. I'm setting up lost there, but yeah. So you hear that part where it's starting to resolve, it's starting to slow down. So I imagine that the sword fight is over, and this woman is just lucky to have survived this horrible sword fight. And she's just kind of like looking forward to getting off of the boat at this point. So when it gets to the final chord of the song, right there, I feel like, okay, that's like her foot on the ground off of the boat. She's like, I'm free now, I can run from crazy guy. Like, you know, so that's kind of what's going on in my head while I'm playing it. That's how I imagine it.
That's perfect. Thank you. We couldn't have asked for more. I'm like, okay, that was a nice insight into your whole thing. So, yeah, thank you. I appreciate you joining us, and hopefully you will continue to join us. It's like a little like your little music corner where you play a piece and share a little bit of like the story. I thought that was really meaningful, and I appreciate it. I think others did too. I'm looking at the chats. Everyone's like, yes, keep going. I dig it. So
Thank you.
yeah, let's have you back. Thank you, Christine. We're gonna go ahead and switch back to some writing, and yeah, we will see you next time.
Okay,
Cool.
thank you.
Another round of applause for Christine. Yeah. Yeah, and Kit, yeah, I'm reading the Kit, like the chat there. As someone who doesn't often listen to classical, I'm really enjoying the inside look at the process. Yeah, yeah, I like the process, how you envision the music, the sway of the waves. I dig it. I dig it. All right. So for the sake of time, again, we have more people I want to get on. Next up, in fact, it is July, and I know that for a good while, I know Tumblewords had been meeting on Saturdays to do writing workshops, and because of the pandemic, kind of had to get cut short. But now, good news, and I guess I'll let Robin and Donna speak more on this. But writing workshops are going to be back online. So if you guys want to work on your writing, work on your craft, especially with other writers, now's the time to do it because Tumblewords is back in action. And in fact, the person to kick it off with their workshop this coming Saturday, Metaphors Be With You. That's right. We have Robin Schofield in the house, and she's, what can I say? She's an awesome poet. Robin, welcome.
Thank you, Richie. Yeah, this Saturday, the 11th, right? I'm not so good with dates. The 11th, we're going to do Metaphors Be With You, and it's going to be a fun workshop. We're going to look at 3 poems and do 3 writing exercises. And we hope everything works out on Zoom. So join us on Zoom. I got a riddle for you guys tonight. A riddle is the oldest form of poetry, so I wrote a little riddle. Her blue shadow, as four sisters flee daylight to hide behind the megaliths, flattens out to squeeze through, tighter than a pencil skirt. No room left to skirt through the granite shale. The rabbit moon is new and slender, like the daggers she keeps in her red cave. Gray hair and fur in her scat. The hair goddess defeated again, leaping for her life, turning the wrong way. Into the darkness, best left to darkness, as her shadow comes with her inside, not disappeared by dawnlight. In the arroyo, she has staked her claim. Her time isn't long. She's been hungry. And I'll go ahead and give you a hint. That's from my book that is called Ridge of High Pressure, and it's got a lot of poems about coyotes. Can't exactly give you the answer. Okay, so this is called Notes on the Apocalypse. The white buffalo is born, and the two-headed calf. How can you be sure these are the signs? An unkindness of white ravens rises in the northwestern forests. Did you note the eclipse of the harvest moon? Have you thought long about the sunset? Well, have you? A pink dolphin frolics in a Louisiana lake. What does it all mean? Have you studied the names and added their numbers, analyzed the qualities of heat and moisture, cold and dryness? What does it mean to be here in this world of physical properties where lead doesn't transmute to gold, but poisons the water? Three-headed snakes might coil in limestone cliffs strung with opal gemstones, creatures of fire. The soft blue damselflies, born of water, hover so near I could write with one, their ink of the sky. Where is the modern elixir, our hunting of the green lion and the lodestone? While children are caged beside a fictional border, where the mercury thermometer rages upward and the coyote breathes in the smoke-filled air.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, those are some poems I've been working on, like I say, out of my book, Ridge of High Pressure. I do have a book out right now called Flow, and I don't have it to hand, but it won the Southwest Book Award. So look, it's on. I have a Facebook page called Flow by Robin Schofield. You can look at it there. And my cover poem tonight, I have felt pressure to do a cover poem, is one that I'm not going to use for my workshop, and it's called Banneker by Rita Dove. And I'm going to read you the note on it first. Benjamin Banneker, 1731 to 1806, first black man to devise an almanac and predict a solar eclipse accurately, was also appointed to the commission that surveyed and laid out what is now Washington, D.C. So, Rita Dove. What did he do except lie under a pear tree, wrapped in a great cloak, and meditate on the heavenly bodies? Venerable, the good people of Baltimore whispered, shocked and more than a little afraid. After all, it was said he took to strong drink. Why else would he stay out under the stars all night? And why hadn't he married? But who would want him? Neither Ethiopian nor English, neither lucky nor crazy, a capacious bird humming as he penned in his mind another inflamed letter to President Jefferson. He imagined the reply, polite and rhetorical. Those who had been to Philadelphia reported the statue of Benjamin Franklin before the library, his very size and likeness. A wife? No, thank you. At dawn, he milked the cows, then went inside and put on a pot to stew while he slept. The clock he whittled as a boy still ran. Neighbors woke him up with warm bread and quilts. At nightfall, he took out his rifle, a white-maned figure stalking the darkened breast of the Union, and shot at the stars, and by chance, one went out. Had he killed? I assure thee, my dear sir. Lowering his eyes to fields sweet with the rot of spring, he could see a government's domed city rising from the morass and spreading in a spiral of lights. Thank you.
Yeah, Robin, thank you. So really quick for the people who aren't familiar with your work, where can they find your stuff on Amazon? Or what can they look up? I know you already mentioned it, but just to reiterate.
On Amazon, they can just look up my name. And I think one book is out of print and it might come up, but Flow is definitely in print, so it will come up.
Yeah, or not necessarily Amazon. Can we get it through like the press or?
Oh, we don't really have a web page.
Okay.
These projects, which is me and Jane Keller.
Gotcha. Awesome. Well, congrats again on the Southwest Book Award, and look forward to the new one coming out when that does.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. And of course, like I mentioned,
Diurnal Disturbances will be out one of these days.
Hey, yeah, something to look forward to is always great, right? So thank you, Robin. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
And as we mentioned, check out the workshop on Saturday, Tumblewords. If you're not familiar, look up Tumblewords Project on Facebook. But you know what? I'm not going to talk about it. Our next performer was one of the co-founders and has been part, getting ready to celebrate 25 years, right? 25-year anniversary. Donna, we need Donna Snyder in the house to perform, but also enlighten us. Tell us more about Tumblewords coming back.
I founded Tumblewords Project 25 years ago in August. There were some founding members like Jesus Guzman, whose work I've been reading lately because I miss him. He died at only age 44. But it was an idea I got over Chiles Rellenos at La Hacienda Cafe in Las Cruces during the Border Book Festival. And Judith Hill and some lady at the New Mexico Arts Division decided that it was a good idea for me to start a workshop series, and agreed to it over the telephone and sent me money without even a contract. And I set up a series of workshops with great people. Denise Chavez was one of the first presenters. Levi Romero, who's I think currently the Poet Laureate of New Mexico. And a number of other great people presented. Debbie Nathan, Bobby Bird, I think maybe, Ulivaldo Delgadillo maybe. And what we do is we get together and we write and we read aloud. And I've had presenters in from New York City, Brooklyn, Washington, D.C., San Francisco, Los Angeles, all across New Mexico and Texas and Mexico, one from Peru, Chile, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Hungary, and many, many more. And through those 25 years of weekly work, in fact, the first 4 years or so, I had 2 workshops a week, one in Southern New Mexico and one in El Paso. And then at some point I just focused to El Paso. And in addition to the weekly free workshops in the community, lots of workshops in schools and universities and colleges, and open mics and all kinds of spoken word events. And August is our 25th anniversary, which is kind of amazing. So I decided I had to jump off the dime and get going on Zoom. So we're starting Saturday at 1 o'clock with Robin. The next week we have Almendra Voladora from Juarez, the professor and writer in Juarez. The next week we're having Monica Gomez, a prize-winning songwriter and poet. Will be presenting a workshop on the speech of trees, or how to talk to trees, I think. The first weekend in August, the first anniversary month workshop will be Leon de la Rosa, who's an amazing performance poet from Juarez and a professor over there. And then Nancy Green will be here. She was, I think, on the open mic last week, maybe. Nancy Green the next week. And 1 week we'll have the widow of Dr. Felipe de Ortega y Gasca. Her name is Dr. Gilda Baeza Ortega. And she broke through all kinds of glass ceilings as a Chicana and as a woman. And she's the widow of Dr. Felipe de Ortega y Gasca, who taught the first Chicano studies, Chicano literature course ever at University of New Mexico. He founded the first Chicano studies program in Texas. He founded the first Spanish language nationwide newspaper. He counseled, I think, 3 presidents, and died last year at age 92 and was still publishing the last year of his life. He had, well, several years ago, he had over 500 publications. He plays, poetry, textbooks, anthology. He edited the first Chicano anthology, anthology of Chicano literature. And every year he would come and celebrate his August birthday with Tumble Words for our anniversary of Tumble Words and present a workshop, which was just fantastic. And miss him a lot. And so Gilda's going to present a workshop for us. And Maria Miranda Maloney, who actually published 2 of Robin's first books, and published the first Mezcla, which was an anthology of Tumblewords writing and art. She'll be presenting the last week of August, and I'm forgetting a couple of people. But it's going to be fantastic. And then we'll just keep on going. I mean, every year in September, we've participated with 100,000 Poets for Change, which is an international event founded by Michael Rothenberg out of Northern California, and is international. And so I'm sure we'll be doing a workshop on political writing. And just basically every Saturday, except for holiday weekends, you can practice writing and reading aloud with Tumble Words. And I encourage you to do so, because some of the most amazing writers in this region have participated, both as just a weekly writer and as a presenter. And I mentioned that founding member, Jesus Guzman, and I've been reading something by him every week for the last few weeks, I guess because I'm sad and lonely, and because it's coming up on our 25th anniversary. He died in 2001 at age 44. And this is one of his first published poems. It was in Rio Grande Review, and it's called These Brown Shoes. These brown shoes with the flat heels have made inroads along the Rio Grande. How I rejoice with these brown shoes. These shoes have walked around campus at UTEP and streets of this old El Paso town. I walked on them along the highway between Canutillo and Mesa Avenue, and never once have they failed me. How I love these here brown shoes. well, I was looking for something else and found this poem that I guess I wrote last November and typed it into a text message and sent it to a friend. So I've never read this before, except I assume I wrote it at Tumblewords either in November or October of last year. So I'm experimenting on you guys. The waning moon shades to darkness. Its faint light barely illuminates a cluster of leaves and flowers suspended in the sky. A vignette across the ceiling over the dining room table of an ancient house. The moon assembles its light and shadow into the aspect of a woman. Her beauty is wearing thin. Beneath her, plants sustain themselves. Their food from sunlight stored within their own cells. Vines twine in rhythm with chaos. Sheer fabric blows in a whisper of wind, clasps the bones and flesh of death. The air begins to lose its dense odor and contaminated gases. Sky no longer matches dirt. There are a few trees left in cul-de-sacs in the foothills. People venerate the spirits of trees somewhere. They teach their children the wisdom of the woods, the way trees do no harm, the way they reach out through the earth to warn their leafy kin of predators. An invisible network of roots connected beneath the skin of the world. I guess I must have written that most likely in Raquel Mejia's annual Dia de los Muertos workshop. And now I'm going to start acting like that young lady who didn't have much experience and kind of like rustle through my pages, deciding what to read.
It's always good to have a choice, you know.
Yeah. So it's 4 really short poems or 1 long poem. Any votes?
Let's do the rapid fire.
Okay.
That's funny. Jack said the long poem. Right away, we disagreed.
Well, no, I mean, I have never read this in a public reading. That it's 3 minutes and 40 seconds long, and so I've just never read it.
Yeah, let's do that one.
You can pretend it's 4 poems, 5 poems. Cantata of the Red Rock Shadow. The halo around incandescence whites out my eyes. Background sounds lull into dull white noise. Images fragment. Sounds of trains doppel through planes, the geometric barriers of architecture. Negative space, the only true space. The page bears fruit. Outside, the mosquito thrashes the air, unhappy again that it is spring here. In spring, the wind gods vanquish all life, succulents gone to wind and dust. A cantata created from fragmentation, the apocalyptic present, the smell of lilac from a neighbor's yard, a noose dangling like a naked light bulb. I am thinking nothing not contained in the halo of a hanging light bulb, naked in the night. Nothing, always nothing. Waiting for the knock at the door, twin lovers, never the twain shall meet. The beast with 2 bats broken, boys locked in closets of baseball bats, the fear of rats, an infant howling for its mother's dugs. Take this, eat. Bread, my body, wine, my blood. Easter season brings conflagrations close to home. She stumbles beneath the weight of it, her cross to bear. Fire scourges West Texas. What phoenix can we pray to rise up? Low in the grave he lay, our Savior waiting the coming day, our Lord her cross to bear, her life to lose, her grasp on life loose. Breath turned brown, death's early ground. Sound of water running, telephone ringing, rock of ages cleft for me singing. He is dead and we are left dying. Sepulchral voices accused of lying. The sound of water over rock, paper over rock, scissors rend paper, rocks break scissors. Superfluous options, a liar's waver, voice haunting, spirits evaporate to dust, trains thunder through the barrio, the sound of motion, steel on steel. Hurry before the spirits steal what's left of sanity. Peal after clamorous peal, bells ring warnings, effulgence pouring. Someone's at the door, out the door, go running. The murmur of women praying. Drunken lilies nod their heads like sages. Irish poets sing in French. Smell the scent of angels falling. Bells clamor above death's stench. Sparrows huddle, not the least of these. Desert scape desiccated and austere. Heaven, the sound of water running over rocks somewhere hidden. Somewhere out there, a choir of angels beat, boys with baseball bats, Adesti Fidelis. 4 flaming drays running away. Everywhere the smell of excrement and fire. The life as sacrament, the poem as testament.
Yeah, dig it. That's the new mic drop. You know, just the water bottle chug. Yeah. Get down with that. So yes, this Saturday, Tumble Words Project, Metaphors Be With You. Thank you so much. 24th anniversary. Get down on this. Yeah, and if you guys are still with us, yeah, join us. Robin's workshops are always great, and all the other presenters she mentioned. Yeah, well, I got some cool stuff planned. And much love. Thank you, Donna, for joining us. We're all here with us. If you ever need anything, just send a message, please. Okay. All right. Cool. Great reader. I think I'm reading between the YouTube and this chat. People were loving your emotion in it. So
yeah.
That's we all connected to that. Thank you, Donna. All right. Whew, I felt that. I had to go and get a refill of my liquid. It's not liquid courage. It's just I don't know. I'm just feeling it. Monday night drinking. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. Dan the Man. Are you ready? Dan the Man. Must be courses. No, ready? Let's see. Dan, are you with us? Let me check. Yes, you gotta unmute. You ready, Dan? All right, the stage is yours, man. Take it away. There you are.
Say that again.
Oh, yes, that's right. The intro. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Stay at home open mic. We have Dan the Man up next. Dan, take it away. Do your thing. Make our hearts sing.
Thanks a lot, Richie. Okay, I didn't do any writing of mine, but I'm going to do some of the covers. I think you'll like this one. Okay, because there's just 3 books. You know what I'm saying? 3 books. Yep, see these? Yep. Okay, there's a couple of things. Oh, my. Okay. All right. I apologize. Something's blocking my thing. Okay, then. Okay. First off, I'm going to do... Give me a minute. Hang on. Okay. First off, it's In the Air by Pamela Heron. Okay. And on this one, it is called Flight Night. Okay. Here we go. Here it is. Flight Night. Dusky night shadow, sparrow wings brushes the night. Weary, flying home, hooded yellow eyes, head tilts a silent click east, quiet and watchful, a breath of moment, wings spread in nightshade drop, deadly silent strike. Bright eyes closed, asleep, sunrise on empty nest, scattered feathered drifts. End quote. Okay. Next one is Mockingbird. Okay. I never understood my father, except perhaps when I was a child. Then he was protective, all powerful, snow drifts against cold gray stone, a bit of ribbon, faded plastic rose, mockingbird, swoops, dives, wings splayed, tail spread, a fat robin has ventured through close. His mate here hovers near their nest, watching every move, prepare to battle if needed. Summer will come, nestling will fly. I hear the mockingbird, morning song until time to born again. Outside my childhood window, the mockingbird sang, wide morning awake. I walk the fields with my father again, once again, bright, warm nest with bits of ribbon and faded flowers, mockingbird sings. Okay. And next is the time of Hoku. The time, haiku of life. All right, here it is. Time, haiku of life. Birth at early morning light, lonely darkness, hands, eyes clench, hungry, thirsty, wet, youth, spring fever, no sleep. He loves me not. No one understands. Working, promotion today, early bird, catches the worm, sorry. Brush off resume, middle age, morning, dawn, awake, burning eyes, wandering mind, no caffeine past noon. Golden years, listen to the birds, listen for someone to call, too much time wasted, remembrance, to leave it all, time for them, for you, for me, silence for all time. Okay. All right, those are the three poems, and the Air by Pamela Heron. Okay. Next, I think you might be familiar with this. It's called Chaos Theory by Robert M. Drake. This is it, page 96. This is it. No matter how bad it hurts, some people leave to make you stronger, while other times they leave to help you realize how much you've got to love yourself. Unquote. Next, in 5 years, page 97. In 5 years, you want to be free of pain, but you find the people who hurt you interesting. You chase them, want them, and love them as if they are meant to save your life. And maybe they are. Who knows, in parentheses. Maybe they are meant for more than just to cause a little pain. Maybe they are meant to teach you something. And so that 5 years down the line, you could look back and say, and I quote, "Thank you for making me who I am." Yeah, that's what his quote. All right. Next is how to, page 99. All right. And once you have given someone all of your love, your tears, and your dream, it's kind of hard to believe to people again. But none will tell you this. Those who hurt you only do it because they still searching for something. They want to love you, but they don't understand how to love themselves. Quote. Okay, and this next one, my best advice. Oh, I should warn you that there's a couple of foul language on this.
How dare you, Dan? How dare you? I'm just kidding. Take it away.
Here goes nothing. All right. my best advice, page 100. You want to tell yourself that you understand her, that everything about her is beautiful. But the truth is, you don't know squat about her. Bleep it. I'm gonna edit this. I apologize. You're not ready for her sadness, her faults and insecurities. You're not ready for for the way she thinks or feels. You're not ready for someone with so much inside of her. You know, she knows what she needs because she tells me. And sadly, my young friend, you're not ready to love her for who she is or what she is. So let her go, let her be. Stop filling her head and heart with mindless, trivial things. She has her own feelings, her own mind, her own gosh darn problems. So please stop feeding her heart with all this BS she clearly doesn't need. End quote. Okay.
All right, man.
That for the poems from Chaos Theory by Robert and Drake. And this last one, Captured Emotions by Philip S. Joyner. And this one, it's See Yourself, page 61. Where is it? Hold on. I'm sorry, page 60, not 61. Okay. All right. See yourself. One day I beat myself because I hate myself for loving myself. How could I love myself because I knew myself? Until one day I decide to love myself. Then I decide to change myself. I discover I had a choice about self. Then I realized what I was taught about myself. Excuse me. That's why I was a danger to myself. So to love yourself is to see yourself. To see yourself is to change yourself. And according to how to see yourself, then you can be yourself. A little knowledge is a little power, because a little knowledge beats no power. So find the time to free your mind, or you will find yourself left behind. And I quote, that's one poem from Captured Emotions by Philip S. Joyner. All right. And
cool.
And theme. How do I do, Richie?
And scene.
Yes.
Right? Cool, man.
Yes.
Good job, Dan. That was interesting editorializing. You know, sometimes you just gotta go for it, man. It's okay. You don't have to. This is an uncensored place, by the way. You know, you don't have to hold yourself back for anybody. You know.
I'm good, but thank you though. All right. You guys find me on Twitter and Instagram. Find like my page on Facebook, and find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Heads up, I have a birthday tribute to Emily Davis. You know her, the lead singer of the Murder Police and one half of Cult Loveless with Javier Martinez. So next Monday, I'm gonna shoot you the 10-second video birthday shout out. So be aware, Richie. Hey kid, no, Emily Davis. Never mind.
Yes, I know Emily.
Yeah, we'll do this after the show.
Yes, after the show, we'll do. Okay then. All right, awesome. You know what to do, guys. All right, thank you, Richie. I appreciate it. All right, back to you, Richie.
All right, thank you, Dan. And as Donna said, think of the one you love when you hiccup. I've never heard that before, but
Thank you, Miss Snyder.
yeah, next time I've had a little bit too much to drink, I'll be thinking of the one I love. Some hiccups. All right, so just to keep it going, you already heard a little bit of him right now because he was summoned. We have Kit in the house, Kit Wren, and the perpetrator of the cover poem. Let's see what you got for us today.
I've started a movement, and it is always hard to follow Dan. But I have to say, I have a new goal for the rest of this year. We're going to get you to curse. We're going to get you to feel comfortable about it.
Oh, bring it on, you.
We're going to make you curse, and you'll be thankful for it after we're done.
Oh, let's see about that. Well, I already stopped my recording, so.
All right, Dan.
I should have kept
Okay.
No, never mind.
I suppose I brought that on myself. I am going to start with the cover poem. I've just been thinking how I'm more comfortable with like the title of poet lately, and this is despite the egotism that betrays. But sometimes you have to let your ego eat a little bit. And this is about that basic tension. This is The Poet Crowned by Seamus Heaney. I rode south through the petty kingdoms, Belfast to Dublin on the Enterprise, resplendent in my emperor's new bays. Gods make their own importance. Metronomes and meters, tattoos on the sacral drums of memory, etymologies superb as nations risen off their knees. Our name is shouted and the influence comes. While somewhere in the monotonous fields, the herdsman and his wife, who kept the boy unawares through all his marvelous growing, bewildered now by this new name, think themselves forgotten and grow lonely. Yeah, and I'm gonna just kind of.
Hey, Kate, what's with the little door behind you? I'm just kidding.
Yes, that's apparently what they like, what their idea of small talk is in Spokane, is to not understand depth perception and say that you have a small door behind you. Because we crashed an open mic along this same line in Spokane, and it was a good experience. There were some cool folks there, and they have a funny sense of humor. But at the beginning of the year, I had this sort of quixotic idea of, in 2019, I had 3 poems published. And I said to myself, I'm not going to read those anymore. They're done. They're finished. But I don't know. We've made it halfway through this year of hell. So I'm allowed to bring things from the old times back. And I'm allowed to gas myself up. Richie has read from this several times because he's in this too. Donna Snyder is in this as well. A lot of luminaries are in this. And me too, for some reason. I have 2 things in Barrio Panther Volume 3, and you're going to hear both of them. This first one, I had to title these because this is like a real thing. And this one, I ended up settling on. The Ziracle Rejects the World at Large. I have a confession disguised as a question. Has the desert spoiled all other outdoor settings for you too? Do the forests seem to you a claustrophobic compromise between the indoors and the outdoors, unsatisfying as most compromises are? How can this be outside if I can't see the entire sky? Does the ocean seem showy and excessive, gaudy, like plastic jewelry on an otherwise fine hand? To have all of that undrinkable water feels like someone made a mistake, but didn't care enough to correct it. We are a dry land, but what we find is potable. Did the hill country underwhelm you too? Were you tempted to laugh at all the hill people who went around instead of over and through? They would think us mad, but I'll never make the mistake of caring what they think again. Does every green field, no matter how wild, take on the manicured unreality of a golf course? I am tired, friend, of this world of driving ranges. You and I will spread our picnic blanket in the sand trap and throw back every Titleist that blunders in. And the other one that was in here is called Statement of Measurable Learning Outcome, where I thought it would be real clever to give things titles that had to do with technical writing, even though they were poetry. It's a pretty good idea. And this is a sestina. I am no longer sure if I agree with the ideas presented in it, but a sestina is hard to write, so that should be celebrated just on its own, regardless of whether it's good or not. Poesy is poesy because of structure. The poet is the poet because of his control over sound, stress, silence, and other wild phenomena. He tames them, brings their energy to heal. If well his words, he may resemble the gods. And that's why Shelley said, though unacknowledged, the poet rules. People, though, have a way of resisting rules and not seeing the value in a sheltering structure. They'll tear down the symbol of someone else's control and say, the hell with all of this, let's be wild. We won't temper with pretty lies the truth of our energy. Our power will rise. Resistance overcome, we will be as gods. But the hardest part of immortality is gods staying gods. And as punks get psoriasis, their heresies become rules. The wreckage they created becomes improvised structures. Their spasms are reframed as esoteric control, and high-belted bald professors tell their charges be wild, be real like Pollock, fuck form, be pure energy, as if there could only be one kind of energy. There's no longer room for figures or gods in the academy or the church. And the new set of rules makes sestinas and sonnets and other vain attempts at structure akin to murder, which is the only certain form of control. Better to break up the concrete and let everything grow wild. But who's to say that my wild looks like your wild? That the jungle and the meadow don't have the same green energy. You have been enjoying your time as fair-haired gods, but it won't be indefinite. Those are the rules. The practiced chaos you've learned is still a structure and is easily wrecked by one person with control, and you will be amazed at how I control and ride upon the backs of animals thought wild and compress their roars and howls into 39 lines of energy. You'll swear even the lions I ride have thoughts of the gods and hereafter and speculations about who rules and who created the zebras. They can spy from their structure. The lions will learn, determine rules, harness their energy, dream twitching of gods and battle for control, overcome this structure and become the new next wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy.
I love you, Kit.
I love you too, Nico. And I was also in a second thing called Chismosa Press.
Kit.
Chismosa Press Volume 2, co-founded by Jessica Castro and Rachel Cachete. And it also, Donna Steiner is also in this. A previous reader, Cassie York, her artwork is in this. And I too am in this. And that's why I bought like 4 copies, because I'm tremendously vain. This one's called Research and Fact Checking after Kim McKibbins. Not really. I turn in my thoughts to the young woman in North Carolina who got someone else's words tattooed on her forearm. No sin in a vacuum. In fact, a commonplace occurrence, but she claimed the words as her own. when she came across a certain poem, she really liked the phrase, something about spitting teeth into a sink. She took to it. She thought it was a metaphor. It became a metaphor in her submission and under her skin. But like a toy collector, she kept it in its original packaging, which made it easy for the presumably veneered original poet to note and prosecute the theft. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I too have had a recent incident involving the literal spitting of a broken tooth into a functioning but not pristine sink. But that was my own fault. The cresting of a new century of bad habits. So it doesn't have the emotional resonance I need for it to be useful imagery. I'm sure you agree. I have some brotherly advice for the young woman from North Carolina. If you must steal, if you cannot refrain from it, choose something more useful than trauma to take. Take a bicycle. I don't know. Take something you can enjoy. Go to the Target, to the large canisters of jelly beans. Proprietary, impossibly literal flavors. Dr. Pepper jelly beans. Recursive sins dreamed by the candy floss devil. Slowly trigger the release lever. Let between 8 and 12 lumps of sugar fall noiselessly into your hand, and then shove them down your gullet like the contraband they technically are. Repeat as needed. I go to the Target now and see the jelly beans in their unsatisfactory plastic packaging of, at an eyeball guess, about 2.5 servings. And I know that I have made a difference in the world. But I had to leave that life behind me. I reached a breaking point, and then a broken point, and then the swell in my heart from my bite-sized theft migrated to my gums. I'm sorry for making this about myself, young woman from North Carolina, and I want you to please believe me when I say that I mean no harm. I am not here to quote tweet you dismissively for street cred, to push down on the social media Skinner box for my treat. But if you're really intent on spitting teeth, and if you now share everyone else's distrust of you around metaphor, follow the path I have paved. We'll have you in the big chair soon enough, under the eyes of a paternal and forgiving dentist, scraping the rot off the way that prayer is supposed to. Okay.
Yeah.
And if there's time for one more.
Yeah, we'll do one more, and then we got Cheryl and Nico and Jenna and Amit.
Ow, 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 ow.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna end with something lighthearted and silly, but still kind of process related. Because we all heard that story about the shortest short story ever, but there were some rough drafts before that. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. Nobody's dead. I was just drunk on eBay again. And I'm trying to make the best of a bad situation. Also willing to sell a complete DVD set of Kolchak the Night Stalker, same kind of deal. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. I got lost in the store. These are obviously too small. I don't know what I was thinking. I guess I just panicked. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. This gift was not funny, Greg. This is the last straw. My entire life, people have made fun of me for my incredibly small feet. I remember very clearly the first such instance when my 4th grade PE teacher said I looked like a hippopotamus trying to balance itself on 2 toothpicks. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. What do you mean, why did I write never worn on the tag? Because I had the space. Are you gonna buy them or not? Is this what you do? You just go to garage sales and call people liars and they're just supposed to put up with it? Oh yeah? Well, maybe your lady protests too much, trash dick. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. Welcome to the new baby shoes store. Our founder, Thurman Barkshat III, started in Tacoma, Washington with a $7,000 loan, a property that used to be a circuit city, and a dream that people could find guaranteed, never worn shoes for their babies and infants at a reasonable price. For sale, Meta short story collection, too niche.
Yeah.
I
Dig it,
love you,
man.
Kit.
Love the humor in that. I was cracking up at Nico cracking up on mute on that one, as I said.
That's why I had it on gallery view so I could see if that happened. All right.
Nice. Well, appreciate you, man. And as he mentioned earlier, we hijacked another open mic last week. It was really fun. Maybe we'll do it again. It's out in Spokane, Washington, called the Broken Mic. Yeah, and I think I just, it's cool to collaborate with other writers around the country. So yeah. All right, Kit, looking forward to what you bring next week for sure. Yeah, we got more people. In fact, we have a first timer, at least at the online virtual mic. I'm just, I'm not a first timer in anything else, but I'm just saying, before the pandemic started, before stay-at-home orders and quarantine, Amit and I went to San Antonio for AWP, and we had the pleasure of hanging out with our next performer. And she's well accomplished. Her debut, her book, Pity the Drowned Horses, was the winner of the first Andres Montoya Poetry Prize. So I'm really happy that you made your way with us today. We have Cheryl Luna today. Welcome, Cheryl. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, because it keeps going on mute.
Oh yeah, I just put mute for everyone while others are performing, but you're good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm going to read one called Small Defiant Gods. I weep for none and shed my hair like aspen leaves. I wander aimlessly alone, come sullen and sacred at the end of winter. I bow to no one and send no love. What needs of yours or mine are known. I whisper no language, require no wit. If you find me, I will tell you no poem. I quake not, nor remember. Flirtatious and haughty, I offer no visions, bother not with prophecy or prayer. I have no voice, no song. I come to you no lover, no fool, and never reminisce. My breath is cool, then hot. I move darkness, then light, hold the sun like a toy, the stars like dust. I know no marriage, no birth or death. Slow soundlessness follows me, and I offer you no image, no bone or sex. Some call me Dark Mother. If you find me at the precipice of your cold heart, I may simply shrug. Some say spirits haunt you, and the unfavored dead hang on. But you really doubt anything beyond my darkest eye. I smile for no one. My black skirt trails everything. Faceless I taunt, you pretend. I move corpses spread over the surface of the earth like stones. Some say the end of my journey is God. Some say the journey itself is creation. But the hands that hold you are bone and ash. So what moves you through me like small defiant gods? Your brief living, breath, and word hurled beyond my notice. And I bind you in hunger, like blind prophets singing before I come to reap. My womb is starry, my number is 9.
Yeah.
I guess I'll read this one called River Ghost. It's from my first book. Little Chihuahuita shadowed beside Segundo Barrio. A dead German shepherd with a broken neck lies on the side of the street for days. The stench of El Paso's sewage in the air, a Mexican flag hugely flaps itself above the chain link fence, topped with razor wire. In the morning, blue mountain smog. South side of the border, a man jogs. The river's bank green, small trees bob in the wind like purple treats, mirage. Each day, thousands cross the open bridge both ways. Each night, they go home to sleep in silence. Cars hum and wait for hours like sleeping cats. A cemented river half dried, even the canal drains away. Some say droves of shadows at night move ghost-like through the dying river. These people grow invisible, as if air, irrelevant and holy. At night I can hear the whisper of my grandfather. All the angels live in Juarez. There is an old language broken in my throat. Some eyes mistake me for shadow. When I speak, my voice a fearful phantom. In spring, dust storms come. The sky browns. My visage half forms beneath the Italian cypress. And when the day's moon is full in its silence, I am afraid of my own darkness. Thanks.
Awesome. Yeah, do you have one more? Or?
Well, I guess let me find one.
Yeah. It's great to have you, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
So how'd you hear about this one?
Amit told me about it.
Yeah, Amit, thank you.
I guess I'll read 7. Well, no, I don't want to read that one. I'll read
I was gonna say, which is not the number of poems, but that was the name of the piece.
Oh yeah, that's the title. Well, here, I'll read this one. Crazy Ted talks to the Virgin of Guadalupe. He lights candles to the Virgin of Guadalupe, rocks as he sits, shoulders sloped, legs crossed. A black rosary rises and falls against his heart. The altar, candles in his room burn down. His head is large and his eyes bulge bipolar. At 6'2", he walks the streets sweating, big palm clenched like an oyster shell about a pearl. He carries a plastic black rosary, each bead rubbed dull by an obsessive thumb, each prayer an urgent rendition towards desire. He says, I'll have a higher place in heaven than you. He wants to join a monastery in Arkansas, walk among the monks, heads bowed and shaven. He chants to angels, the dead nobody else can see, smokes cigarettes beyond the filter, lives for the ashes, the cliched dark night of his soul. Reality eggs him on at times, but he'll have none of it. He writes novels about God's corporation, where he's the CEO and sells a zillion t-shirts of Jesus doing push-ups to fans in sold-out stadiums. It's all about the marketing, he insists, even a poem or a god.
Yeah, awesome. So where did you read those from some of your collections or?
Well, this was in an anthology that they appeared in. It's called Other Muses, New Latina Poetry, edited by Cynthia Cruz.
Awesome, very cool. Glad to have you on. And how can people get a hold of you or catch more of your work?
Well, I'm on Facebook, and I guess you can order my books on Amazon. It's the easiest way to get them.
Right on. Cool. Cheryl Luna. We'll look you up. Thank you.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Awesome. We have a couple more performers, and In fact, next up we have our friend Nico Kim, who's been coming out and is always such a great addition to be part of this group, and I always like what he has to share. So Nico, come on up, man.
So sorry, I'm ready to get a text from my mother. Okay, so now that my mind's back, yeah. So check it. What was I gonna say? Having ADHD is not fun, but I will say I had no idea how I was gonna start this poem, like what I was gonna do tonight, because I wasn't even sure if I was gonna be able to make it. So I kind of like came up with what I was gonna do like in the last second. So before I begin my poetry tonight, I'm gonna plug my podcast and everything. So we're the Psychedelic Comrades. We've made it to the top 100 in the Apple Podcasts. And we're looking for, we always want more fans. We always want more listeners, but we're also looking for patrons. We're looking for patrons on Patreon, and you can help, like you can sign up and like choose poems or have me make a poem. And I also have a blog, so you can check out our blog and vote for like what, or not vote, but like tell me what you would like to see in the blog, all that really good stuff. So because I'm trying to get some patrons, I'm gonna start with the cover poem, and I'm gonna start with William Shakespeare's Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling's buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often in his golden complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But thy eternal summer but thy eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of thou fair thou owest, nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long live this, and this gives life to thee. So Sonnet 18 was written to this dude who Shakespeare was proverbially, not literally, sucking his dick. So he's like, hey, we need money. And so that's what he did. So I'm willing to write a Sonnet 18 for any of our patrons. That's the intent of starting off with that. Wasn't that rhetorically cute? Moving on.
You just used the phrase rhetorically cute.
Yes, I did. Do you like that? So I see you, kid. So yeah, I had no idea what I was gonna do. So I guess I found an older poem that I really love, and I'll finish with that poem. But I'll start with this poem. I walk into the room like, what up? I got a small dick. No, I'm not a Slavic body, but I got balls like a tick. Now, that's confidence. Looking at an audience and bringing in this ambience or air of having satisfaction of what you have and wear. Like most people, my confidence is fake. It's not something I can make, but something I can take and own and wear like armor with honor. And honestly, it's complicated. Takan is confident, and I don and dominate it, because most people see you for what you show. So you might as well put on a great act. It isn't as if what you have or know, it isn't about what you have or know, but doing and saying things with temerity like it's fact. In effect, you become the person you wanted to end up being. If you don't believe me, give it a try. You'll start seeing that what I'm saying is actually true, and your actions will show in everything that you do. So give confidence a try and wear it with armor. I don't know how I was going to end that poem. I'm still working on that. I just, I pulled that poem up. Like I wrote that. I don't remember when I wrote that, but the ending's really bad, and I did not like that ending. So because of that crappy ending, I'm gonna do a poem so this is one of my favorite poems, and I haven't said it in a long time. So if I stumble, QQ, I'm over it. But this is a fun ass poem. Just it's been fun. I would like to share with you that I am falsely philosophical, that my content tends to be full of fallacies and fake fields of reference, but I've got a face that fronts confidence. You see, I am a con, but of course, I'm on a course to send convulsions coursing through your minds, because just platitudes I share fare better and have more credit than words spoken by an empty speaker. You see, I'm not an empty speaker because the words that I speak are transposed from the words I write down. Words I write down are transposed from my thoughts, and my thoughts are a roller coaster ride of observing this dope ass reality. So this con I portray is the thoughts transposed this way to display through words I say an acceptable and reasonable idea. My forte is to foray and attempt to leave the listening prey in dismay. Needless to say, I try to slay stupidity out of the way of the mind and replace it with something that will leave an audience thinking. Such is my intent. However, I feel that I'm starting to slack because I feel I may lack a capability at such an audacious attack, yet I'm on my knees pleading my intentions. Come on. Come on, but it takes half an eon just for a thought to dawn on me to share. This is why I'm a con, because I can sit right here and pretend to all end that I have a message to send, but I don't. Thanks, guys. So yeah, check out our podcast. That's the Psychedelic Podcast. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify. That's Psyche-Delic Podcast, and it's a pretty awesome show. I think I have a lot of fun on it, and we also have a WordPress. So if you like to read blogs, if you like reading at all, I actually just released a new blog today. Pretty dope about considering how transgenderism could be the bridge to between the male and female brain. Real cool shit. If you want to check out our blog, it's dope too. And of course, we're looking for patrons. Check us out. You get a lot of cool dope stuff if you first enjoy the show and then also become a patron. Then you can enjoy a lot of cool stuff about our show. With that, man, I think that's everything.
All right, that's exactly everything. That's all we need is everything. Everything and nothing and everything in between. Nothing in between as well. Hey, yes, check out Psychedelic Podcast. Thanks for coming, Nico. Appreciate your energy and your support. And yeah, we're doing this every Monday. So if you guys are listening, if you're on YouTube right now watching us, just look up the Barbed Wire Open Mic series. We always post our events. I try and get like the sign up sheet going on as soon as possible, so like you can sign up for the next week. But we're gonna keep going because I know, and also we do have a couple people that are late. Oh yeah, Nico, if you can on the chat, put down the site and the podcast on the chat so we can share that with everyone. All right, yeah, I'm waiting for a couple people to still log in if they can make it. But right now we have Amit with us, and then I mentioned Amit earlier. We were able to travel to this year's AWP. It was considerably cut down because of coronavirus and all that, but who we didn't expect to be in like this all this time. So Amit, what do you have for us today? Welcome back.
Thank you. Well, if you think about it, when we went to San Antonio, they had one case in San Antonio, remember? One.
Yeah, the mall.
They were already closing down the mall, and we visited with Maria and her dad, and she was being very fussy about giving us drinks and all that. Remember that, Mick? And then we came back to El Paso, and they had the first case here, detected case. They may have other cases on March 13th, and see where we're at now. So surely things have not gone the right way. So I'm going to try to read, depending on what I feel like. I'll read 2 poems, and if I'm in the mood, I'll read something else. But you guys will tell me if I should go or not. But before I do that, I would like to thank Richie for all the effort he makes I think very few people appreciate. I mean, I think everybody here does, but a lot of people do not know how much work he puts in to keep this going. So everybody please clap for Richie. Also,
Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you.
Also, Richie and I are coordinating a project for Life in the Time, and we are still taking submissions. In fact, I think a bunch of submissions came in today, I saw. So please consider signing up, submitting work, and telling other people about it. When we started the project, it was about the COVID-19. And now it is about COVID-19 and the social unrest, and there's so much has gone on in this few months, and we don't even know where this is all going to end up. So this has become not a happy time to remember, but a memorable time to remember in some ways. For years, I suppose. Okay, so I will read these two poems and see where we go, okay? This one goes like this. Moved to the apartment here a year ago. Got a place fit for a refugee. Been one my whole life. Changed my childhood room for many foreign abodes. From Calcutta, India to the Confederate States, to Union lands, and finally to El Paso, Texas. Every time I walked into an empty room, memory painted walls blissfully. I can't seem to get away from the truth. That's the first one. This one is stuck in an apartment, jailed in one room really. Bright sun gives way to fading lights. Time is measured by sun and moon timings. I see Iton by day and Wallace lights by night. I think of my room as a prison. Yet when I go out, I can't seem to wait to run back to my refuge. I see the room smiles when I walk in. It's not a prison, but now a home. That's the second poem. And Richie, what do you think? Can I read another poem?
Yeah, you got time. We're actually trying to stall. I'm waiting for two poets to join us. I don't know if they will, but you know, we can stall a little bit. So do it, man.
Okay, this one is a risky one to read. And when I say risky, I don't mean risky in the sense of offending anybody risky. It's risky because it's kind of a long poem, but it's hard to read, hard for people to hear it and I don't know, get it. I don't know. But I'll try it. It's a little long, 2-3 pages, but if you guys tell me to stop, I'll stop. So this is called Crossing a Calcutta Rasta. Rasta means road in Bengali. And you know, it always amazes me. People talk about traffic here, and people have no idea what traffic means. Okay, when you come from a place like India, absolutely zero idea. And we are not talking about just cars. We're talking about cars and people and dogs and cats and carriages and you know, if you for a Westerner, if you look at one of those pictures of 18th century England in one of the Dickens novels, it's even worse than that. So yet there are very few accidents because people are not driving fast. So it's kind of weird. I can tell you this, I do not drive in India. I've been away from India for 35 years. When I go there, I do not drive. I'm sure I'll crash it, especially managing other people. Anyway.
As someone who's driven with you before, I can see that.
Thank you, Richie. I appreciate that.
all with love, man. All with love.
All right, here it goes. Calcutta roads will be like London someday, they say. Calcutta Rasta overflowing, roads bursting like a tin can, only 20 feet across, brimming with crore jantas, seems a broad river, green autos, brown telas, yellow taxis, maroon vans, crossing it is harder like Nuevo de Julio, Buenos Aires. It takes 2 traffic lights to cross the widest street in the world to get to the other side. Calcutta Rasta overflowing, only 20 feet across, seems a broad river, yellow taxis, maroon vans like Nuevo de Julio, Buenos Aires, the widest street in the world. Roads bursting like a tin can, brimming with crore jantas, green autos, brown tellers, crossing it is harder. It takes 2 traffic lights to cross to get to the other side. Ox-drawn carriage, van moves leisurely across, bells ringing, carrying bricks, screeching bikes and blaring horns. Rickshawala hauls and lugs, weaves through beige lorries. Helpless Thakuma and Nati, are we there yet? 1,000 feet, are we there yet? A discordant janta marching, a dadu and a perky girl towards the destination. Ox-drawn carriage, bells ringing, carrying bricks, rickshawala hauls and lugs, helpless Thakuma and Nati. Are we there yet? A dadu and a perky girl, van moves leisurely across, screeching bikes and blaring horns, weaves through beige lorries. Are we there yet? 1,000 feet, discordant janta marching towards the destination. Old man in dhoti in white Gandhi cap, fellow in business suit, a cyclist gently ambles, one hand on mobile, 2 women, girl in tight pink sari, the other in Levi's faded jeans, side sweep past cars, avoid the unruliness, travel without fear, brave the road. Old man in dhoti, fellow in business suit, one hand in mobile, girl in tight pink sari, side sweep past cars, travel without fear, in white Gandhi cap, a cyclist gently ambles, 2 women in Levi's faded jeans, avoid the unruliness, brave the road. Passengers run, dodging traffic, autos wildly zigzag along imaginary lanes, minis swerve suddenly, scooters, mopeds nudge along, motorbikes muscular ride, along with ambassadors, Indigo, Swift, Maruti, a screeching halt, sparkling Beamer humming, countdown begins, wait for the next green light. Passengers run, dodging traffic, along imaginary lanes, scooters, mopeds nudge along with ambassadors, a screeching halt, countdown begins, autos wildly zigzag, minis swerve suddenly, motorbikes muscular pride, Indigo, Swift, Maruti, sparkling Beamer humming, wait for the next green light. Then a bouncing ball, a running child, blue school bag, weighted down by a ton of books. He darts across a bus and dribbles around an auto. He's Zidane cutting through the midfield, or Maradona, zipping in and out, avoids a taxi to the left, a mini to the right, and a red double-decker. But in football, as in life, accidents do happen. Boy Maradona, Zidane, a casualty of collision. When man's against a machine, man cannot win. Traffic, like football, is a contact sport. Boys down, ball bounces away, crash, blood, and the traffic stops. Auto driver runs huffing, pants falling, but not very far. Calcutta Rasta turns into a river of blood by angry Janta. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome, Ahmed. Thank you.
That's all I have.
That's it. You do the victory chug. Do it. Victory chug. What are
There
you
you
drinking?
go.
What do you have there? What are you drinking?
Stella Artois.
A Stella. I almost got a case of that today when I was shopping. I decided, at the open mics at Black Orchid, I would always drink Shiner just because it was there and cheap. So I decided to kind of keep the trend going with the Shiner. And
That is
they're not Dos Equis or Jameson, so they don't blend away in the background of the green screen. That was a
There you
thing.
go.
So check that out. Yeah, I always loved this. So with a Dos Equis or a Jameson, you have the green screen, so it it loses.
Oh
its,
wow, yeah, that's cool.
becomes invisible. Yeah, it's
That's
my
cool.
drink. Yeah, it's my drink of choice. By the way, if you ever wanna a little gift, a little Jameson, it's
There
the
you
way to
go.
go.
Keep that in mind.
All right. Thank you, Amit. Appreciate
Thank
you for
you.
joining. Thanks for inviting Cheryl as well. Thank you and everyone who's participated.
Yeah, Cheryl was not sure. I kind of convinced her to sign up today. So I'm very glad she did.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a very laid back thing. Like it's not going to replace like live readings, but it's something. It's a way for us, all of us, to get together and just listen to what people are working on. I'm a little bit more casual in the way I run these, because I've seen some other online mics and it's a little tight and sharp, but I like just having a conversation, seeing what people are feeling, what they're working on. We want to keep that going on, especially since so many of us aren't having the chance to like go out and interact with people, not just your family and friends, but just kind of people that I know,
Yeah.
Kid. I saw you made a post about that today, Kid. That I really, I feel that. And so I was waiting for a couple people to join. It's a couple of our out of towners, one from Florida and one from Las Vegas, but we'll see. So I'm gonna share a couple things and see if they can make it. If not, we'll see if we can stretch it out. Maybe we'll do like a second round because we got to 11 pretty much. There's not a bar that's gonna like kick us out, but I try and keep it at least at latest till 11, like the time. So something I've been trying to do these last couple of open mics is to try to like share some of the works, some things that I've been reading, things that I'm looking forward to reading, and work from friends. So I know I've talked about this on the podcast before, but Grace Munoz has her book out, Coatlicue Girl. And it's a pretty cool collection, especially if you want to support El Paso writers. This is out. You can order it from her, grisemunoz.com. And I have a podcast. Nico was talking about his. I have one. I have a bunch of podcasts, but one that I helped produce and co-host is one called Literally Literary, which is we just read a book every month, talk about it. It's like a book club. And so if you guys if you follow us, you can read the book we're reading and join in with us and ask questions. So in June we read Grace's book. In fact, I think all 4 episodes are out now, including the 4th episode is a conversation where she joined us, and so it's really cool artwork from Los Dos. I've talked about it before, but I want to talk about 2 other friends that I met about a year ago. 2 writers from New Orleans, in fact, and so when they were in town, they read at one of the open mics I was helping produce on the West Side. And so these 2 poets from New Orleans, by the way, on Literally Literary, we also read this other writer from New Orleans, Maurice Carlos Ruffin. He has a book called We Cast a Shadow. Interesting premise. It was cool guy to talk to as well on the podcast. But he's friends with these guys I met. So I want to give them a shout out as well because I have their books with me and it's good stuff. I'll share some from it as well. So the first one is Sky Jackson. Okay. Sky Jackson. And so this is a chapbook competition that she won. And so her book, A Faster Grave, This is right here in my hands. It was limited edition, but as you can tell right away, it's some nice cardstock with art. And it was she won this competition from Antenna Press, and so you can look that up. Sky Jackson, really awesome poet. And this book is just filled with all sorts of nice art. It's the words, but also there's a lot of artwork in there, so it's really fun to look through. I'm trying to like let's give you a little showcase. I did a podcast with them on my other podcast, the BWOMS podcast. Um, and actually, Sky is also friends with another poet you may have heard of, Jericho Brown. just recently won the Pulitzer Prize in poetry. And so Sky Jackson interviewed him like in 2020, so pretty recently. She interviewed him, and you can read that interview on the French Quarterly Journal. Check it out. It's pretty cool stuff. But I'm gonna read a couple of pieces from her chapbook, A Faster Grave. Okay. This one's called Never Let Me Forget. And I'm just going to kind of read it. It's like three that kind of bleed into each other. Never let me forget. Sometimes your hands remind me that my body is made of stars. Okay. And then it's like a section. If you love a man, little moons. Today, I told that girl with the honey-colored moon-shaped eyes, always remember, if you love a man, then you must also accept his shadow. And then she also does like this thing where it's like biblical and sky verbs 3:16. All right, last one from this, which has some art. It's called Hang Yourself, Little Flower. I told him that I'd love to be those purple flowers wilting over his doorway, and that I'd like to dangle above his head for a while. Then he said, hang yourself there until the gardener comes. Then go find roots over another door. It's pretty crazy stuff. Anyway, check it out. Faster Grave. And okay, cool. So Amanda's not feeling well. All right. Thanks for letting me know, Nico. And last one, or maybe I'll share one of mine too. But along with Sky Jackson, so they were on tour. They were on a tour. They were pretty much promoting Sky's book, and it took her from Louisiana through Texas and all the way to Paris. So that was really cool. Like I said, I have a podcast that I did with them, the BWOMS podcast, Sky, and also Ben Aylshire. So this is his book, Currency. It's also a really nicely designed book. It's cardstock, so that it has some texture to it. This kind of paper money boats in a bottle. And Ben, I think is an interesting character. You might have seen him. He has the website poetforhire.com. And so he travels all around the world with his typewriter, and he writes poems for people. And so this collection is actually filled with poems that he had written for people. So you can see it kind of has the typewriter font, and these are poems that he had written. Same thing. Did I have any ones I wanted to read from this? Okay, I just opened up, and we were talking about the political climate. He has a poem here called Ferguson. And so many, with all the online discussions and what's happening around, people are always acting like that this just happened, all this social unrest, but that's not true. If we've been following it. And so even not too long ago, we had Ferguson, right? That happened. And so this is a poem in his book, Ferguson. So I'll read this one really quick. Red ink for the pool of blood, black ink for the skin it poured from, red ink for the 12 holes shaped like stars, one for every month of the year, one for each of Christ's apostles, one for each seat on the jury, black ink for the pupils of the witnesses, Red ink for the redeeming fires blooming in televisions. Black ink for the slave ships tar feeding those fires. Red ink for the officers' hands caught like herrings. Black ink for the hieroglyphics of our Constitution and the court stenographers weeping. Red ink for the four octagonal oracles planted at every street corner telling us what we must do. And white ink for the demon in my people who will not heed that message. And that's for Yuri, Royal Street, New Orleans. So this is a typewriter poem that he did around the time. So check that out. 2 books I wanna give a shout out to: A Faster Grave by Sky Jackson and Currency by Ben Elishire. I'm trying to get them on the screen, but you can check them out. All right, so Amanda's not making it. Unfortunate, we missed her. Amanda's been coming for a while now, coming with some powerful stuff. She's out of Daytona Beach, and she's been coming after work. So sometimes it's hard for people to do
She's
that.
fire.
Yeah, I love it, and you can check it out too. From past episodes, yeah. So if you don't know, YouTube Barbed Wire Open Mic Series, we do have past episodes archived. You can check her out. I know. Yeah, octagonal oracles. I like that line too. So I don't know. I haven't heard from Jenna. Jenna was messaging me. Some stuff came up. She was gonna try and make it. If she doesn't, that's fine. I'm gonna share 2 of mine. That cool? I'm gonna share 2 completely unedited, super raw. Maybe I shouldn't. No, I'm gonna do it. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do it because
Do it.
Oh shit.
Do it.
You should. Oh, I forget where I wrote it though. I have way too many notebooks here. Okay. Let me get this. But I want to thank you guys all for tuning in, joining us, hanging out. It's a Monday. But we're trying to make our own space here. And that's really the point. Let's listen to each other and all that. Okay. Oh my God. I feel just like Jimena from earlier and Donna from earlier. Just trying to find the right pieces to read. Manuscripts. Okay, so we'll be back next Monday, by the way. I'm gonna try and get the sign up sheet out as early as Wednesday. So if you guys want to perform early, get on there. I think that's always a good start. And also, if you haven't subscribed to our newsletter, okay, are you guys still with me? Are we still good? We have a newsletter. You can subscribe to it. It's like kind of the first opportunity to sign up, and also like for other projects. For example, I've been highlighting Life in the Time, some other projects, literally literary, all that good stuff. So yeah, I've got 2 very raw, unedited pieces. I'm probably gonna be like Nico too and be like, oh damn, I meant to edit that. Hold on. The ending. All right, this one's called Open, I think. Sometimes I sit in rooms strewn with strangers, all adorned with the weight of wandering eyes, yearning for that chance to linger, to feast on that quiet desperation, to catch another's fish hook, high wire, kerosene soaked life preserver of a glance. Because you see, for in that moment, we are the only 2 people in existence, burning hot quasars on the peripheries of something. You know, we're a feather and a ball and a bowling ball, falling side by side in the vacuum of maybe, perhaps, not today. Count us the everyday explorers of the could have beens and side-widened sing-alongs. We bring along the song of the long gone and since then rescinded. Call us the heavy-winded. Eternity lived in that moment in which our eyes met head on like high beams on a dark desert highway from 2 vehicles doomed for a head-on collision of mutually assured destruction. We did it anyway. That's all I got. I couldn't find an ending for that one. It's open. Okay, this one's based on a Aztec mythology. All right, we'll do this. Just past eagles and jaguares, beyond Plato and Kafka, there's the perpetual void, slithering in and out of existence on moonbeams, in creation and destruction and recreation. That void, it slithers and waves, unhinges her jaws, that new moon musings, consumed in her vast mystery. Big magic. It's a spark in the darkness of a life past lived. It was initiated by diving headfirst into oblivion. You see your soul and you sense the infinite. See, I learned to scream endlessly into the void, for when it finally echoes back, you will know the sound of your own voice. This is the song. Ichel is her name. We hear her divinity glimmer in moonbeams, shimmer like desert rain, and tether the sky to the dust of this earth. As we breathe it in and breathe it out, we breathe in and transform. This is the song. This is the void. Those are two super unedited pieces. Yeah, Ichel is like the moon goddess. I'm part of an art crew called those Visionaries. That's our gang sign right there. I say it affectionately, but it's a bunch of artists from El Paso and Juarez, and I'm like the MC poet of the group. And we did an art show where we did, it was a tribute to Ichel, the moon goddess from myth. So I got to read that piece while they unveiled it was like a sculpture with lighting and art around it, and it was super fun. Anyway, I don't know if we'll have Jenna joining us today, but I do want to give her a shout out. She's from Las Vegas and she participates in other open mics, and the New Rican Poets Cafe has been doing some online stuff too, and they've got that street cred, and I'm just trying to build this one up a lot. Let me see what else. Yeah, I think that's it. Anyone have anything to say? We got like 9 minutes left, so
I mean, I can rap for you.
do you want to do it a cappella? You got a beat? I mean, we're still trying to figure out the music thing with Chris. So you saw with Christina earlier how fragile the Zoom software is, because when she turned off the original sound, turned on the original sound, the piano sounded good, but you couldn't really hear the speaking as good without the headphones. So you should do it. A cappella rap. What you got for us, man?
Oh, okay. If it's gonna be a cappella, I guess.
Oh, you got a beat for it?
Yeah.
Oh, play it.
Yeah.
Do I need to
just
turn on?
pulling it up. Yeah. Hook me up.
Okay, I got you.
Hook me up. Let me find it. Control O.
Okay. Trying to figure out how to. Okay, I'm turning on the share screen for you. Okay.
Bet.
You should be good to do it.
Okay. We'll do solo on that, and then pulling this bad boy up, and then share screen. Which one is it? This one. Share computer sound. Optimize screen sharing for video clip. Should I click that? Yeah. All right. Bet.
I was muted, but this is the best way to do it. I think we're learning.
Okay. Let me know if you can hear it. You can hear that?
Maybe lower the computer sound just a little.
Okay.
But it sounded good here.
Boop. Maybe even boop. How about that?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Like, how is it in comparison to my voice? Good.
It's a little louder than the voice. Maybe like a couple decibels down, like 2.5.
How about that? Yep.
Because I know the beat drops, so it gets louder.
Yeah. You hear it? How's that?
Yeah, I think it's good.
Cool. All right. Oh, I swear a little bit. I don't think I do it too bad though. But anyway, look at him. Look at him. Look at it. Look at these people. Looking down at me, but their eyes should be up. I know I may be small, but my bars those rooms. Psychedelic sick float like I hit you with some shoes. See the brooms to clean out this trash. All these whack ass rappers pulling words out the rest. Don't mean to be brash, but they're padding for cash, trying to get it to match, because the words are not enough. They barely had the stuff just to make it. So they spit a little shit and make a bucket so they take it. So I might is all that they need. I ain't ghostwriters to fulfill the green, not try to talk shit. I just wish to quit, say fire's all the spit because it's not. I mean, they're not even cold, they're like a room temperature, trying to fall off as if they're high. But what do I know? I'm just a poet, bro, in this rap game for fun. But unlike some other MCs, on the mic, I get my work done, cause I'm fresh with it. Nigga came in the game to be the best at it. Talk to me if you wanna make a test of it. All these figures feel food as a testament. You can't mess with it. Every time I get on the mic and let go, the flow infiltrates, it feels natural. Habitual bitches got my lips to the ears. All these motherfucking mother rappers can't be compared because it's my year, my time to shine. Fuck limelight, the sun's gonna be mine. I'm a perfect 10, but I don't need a dime, bro. This ridiculous Nicholas is Nicholas. No, the lesson left rigorous. Flying into the sun is my motivation and my plan. So let me break it down. The rappers, you are clowns. Every time you music song, all they hear is the sound of drowning out laughter. You call yourself rappers. Surely that rap you get on a mic and you sound like a raptor. I pray for a rapture to save me from your words. Comedies, you think we're on equal terms. You think our skill is adjacent, but I'm still climbing while you're complacent. To me, complacency's missing a beat. Kisses feet just to try and compete. Straight to the masses from you know something asses. Ashes inside glasses. Assess out master out. Find my words faster, but you couldn't keep up. Just to match me, you need to bring speed up. About to get beat up like a porn star's push a big Billy goat. Grab words, our horns, push it, passing out. Ass whoopers, lasting out. Who's looking at the game? Remember the name, Nico Kim, bro. Why? Cause I'll run this shit. Taco Bell bowels. All I have to use is consonants and vowels to open your jaws, and I'll bring the towels to clean up the saliva, dripping through jowls. Scowl all you want, but I'm sick with this flow, and by now you should know I got heavenly glow in this motherfucker. So when to give it to going like ramen noodles, fuck beef. Unlike ramen noodles, fuck beef.
That's good, man.
Thanks, bro. Where is it? Oh, how do I stop share?
Oh yeah,
Boom.
yeah. Nah. It's crazy,
Got it.
man. We're learning that how to do the beat with.
How did
the
that
video.
work? Was it like I felt like the beat was super quiet for me.
No, it sounded good here. At least to me
Yeah.
with the headphones on. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
cool.
know.
I hope it came out on YouTube well. Fuck. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I mean
We're-
F.
It's okay, man. There's no censorship thing here.
That's fair.
I'm not getting paid on YouTube, so I don't have to worry about demonetization.
That's fair.
It just, but yeah, I liked it. I think it sounded really good. On here, sometimes the YouTube, like the audio and video gets separated a little bit. That was a very fast beginning. Are you drinking your mead today?
Yeah. No, not mead. I'm actually drinking the champagne.
Okay.
The champagne and beers.
Oh, I'm all about that high life.
Yeah, man. Always.
I have a poem about Charlie Parker. So we don't need the high life, but this life, it's the only one we've ever known. So I don't know, just enjoy it, man.
There's this movie. You ever see Ford Fairlane? The Adventures of Ford Fairlane. Andrew Dice Clay. He's hilarious. Hickory dickory dock. All these bitches be sucking my cock. Like he was just hilarious, bro. He was hilarious.
Damn.
Just a straight up G. Anyway, he wrote this movie, or he had this movie, Adventures of Ford Fairlane. I just realized we're still live.
We are, yeah. You're turning into after party already.
Yeah, sorry.
So if you guys want to, by the way, so when we do these on Mondays, we usually have like an after party hangout and the live stream. We're still in the live stream, so you got like a little glimpse. We just talk about stuff. That's really it. Have some drink, finish up our drinks, maybe talk about random things. But yeah, I guess for today we'll go ahead and start closing it up. But I want to do one last time I want to thank everyone who participated today, who signed up, did their thing. It was a very eclectic show. We got to hear people all the way from New Jersey and poets from here, people doing their thing. And so one last time, you guys want to unmute, go ahead and give yourselves a round of applause, clap for the end of the show. Cheers, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Let's see.
You guys are awesome.
Everyone, yeah, it's cool. So we're gonna hang out a little bit, just talk on the after show. As far as the live stream, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. So thanks to you guys, everyone who participated. Sandy, as always, you're like the MVP on the live stream. I could always count on you to show some love to the performers. One day we'll hope to have you share some stuff as well. You know what I'm saying? Everyone else who tuned in, I wasn't as interactive on the live stream today, but shout out to everyone who commented, who tuned in. And if you guys are watching another time, show some love, check out all the performers, look at their books, their websites, and support them for the Barbed Wire Open Mic series. My name is Richie Marrufo. It was good to have you guys today. I'm gonna go ahead and end tonight, but see you guys next Monday. Peace.